Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here at Banknote Trading, where we take a look at the US dollar pairs in the Forex market. Today, we'll start by taking a look at Euro USD on the 4-hour chart. And we'll start by mapping out the current range. And this current range expands far back from this strong higher low. But on a more local level, of course, this is the 4-hour range, which made these lower highs, this lower low, this lower high, and then eventually this lower low, which at the beginning or mid last week, and then that's when the buyer stepped back in last week, started breaking straight to the upside. Of course, considering this a retracement in order to continue to push down and target this higher low from this overall range. So waiting for any opportunity, for any type of selling opportunity. Once some of this liquidity gets taken out, it could retrace back up into this area of supply. Right now, internally, it is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So waiting to see once it does start a bearish push to take out the liquidity sitting on these lows, and like I said, continue to target the lows of this internal 4-hour structure, and then eventually target the higher low of this overall range. GBP USD. Well, let's go map at the current range. It's a lot more bearish, of course. Let me see if this is the lower high from these previous highs. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Again, from the middle of last week, buyer stepped back in, eventually broke structure to the upside, essentially past this area of supply to continue to push prices down. Didn't really retrace back into premium yet. That's what I was waiting to see. But as you can see, even though it broke structure to the upside, it went internally bullish. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. This area of consolidation. This is the area of consolidation, which eventually pushed prices back down, started breaking these lows. I'll be looking at any opportunity to sell. Like I was saying last time, this doesn't have to retrace back into premium. I would like to see it retrace back into premium, then come up to this area of supply. But it doesn't have to if there's a strong bearish push, and this is a strong bearish leg. So it did take out some of this liquidity, and now it's starting to push back down further. So I'll be looking to take any type of sell back down to these lows as it continues to bearish. And as you can see, check out DXY. Of course, it's on the index. Continue its bullish push, bullish leg, bullish swing, either higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. It's mid last week, just like with the other US dollar pairs, where the seller stepped back in, made the DXY weaker, and then consolidated in the same area as the other pairs. Of course, it consolidated here, and it eventually broke structure, but there was no strong closure at once it did break structure. So consolidated here, pushed down, but now it looks like it's similar to a V-shaped recovery, buyers pushing prices higher. So I'd expect if this momentum continues to go ahead and take the liquidity over these highs, and then target the highs of this overall range, go back up to the 100 mark, and continue pushing higher from there. AUD USD. Let's go and map at the current range. And of course, this was from a few weeks ago. This was the lower high from these highs, made this lower low, made this lower high, came back, the price came back up to this area of supply, and then pushed down from there. Sellers pushed down, broke structure again. But once this price retraced, sellers stepped back in, they weren't able to make new lows. So we're still in this range. No real trend here, and as you can see, prices were actually right in the middle of the range and consolidating there. So this is consolidation in the middle of this range, and actually overall in the middle of the overall range, with this being resistance and with this being support. So it's just really just trading sideways, just waiting to see if there's any type of direction. But it's overall just consolidating locally, bearish. Came back bearish, but now it's still just consolidating in the middle of the range, waiting to see if there's a direction that's going to be made. NZD USD, let's go map out the current range. We notice a very strong bearish leg. Broke these lows. Once it retraced, broke these lows. It's made lower lows, lower highs, or lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Buyer step back in, but it really hasn't broken any. I mean, it broke fractal structure to the upside, but it really hasn't closed over these highs. Still a lot of bearish pressure for NZD USD. It looks like it is forming just another bear flag, similar to this one that we spotted last time, a few weeks ago. Looks like it is forming another bear flag, another ascending channel. This is an area of supply to watch out for, because that's what pushed prices out, and it hasn't closed above there. And like I said, it is still in this ascending channel in the area of supply. That's where price is right now. It's expected to go ahead and push down, depending on any type of fundamental news with the dollar or New Zealand. I'm expected to go and take the liquidity building on these lows, as this a bullish, when these buyers step back in, it doesn't look like it pushed. It didn't. Well, it hasn't pushed enough to break these highs, and plus, this is very corrective and consolidated in nature. So, just wait to see. The momentum back up to the downside to target the lows, so they've all ranged and just take out the liquidity signal in the lows. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you for joining us.